What if I told you the deadliest wars in history started with something? Empires didn't just fight for gold, they went to war over salt. Yes, salt. In 758 AD, ancient China, during the height of the Tang dynasty, the Chinese government sharply increased the salt tax to fund its growing military and bureaucracy. But salt was an everyday essential. This tax hit the poor the hardest. Public frustration boiled over, and tensions exploded into the An Lushan Rebellion. A civil war so massive and brutal that it became one of the deadliest conflicts in human history. With an estimated 36 million deaths, in 6th century BCE Rome's empire was built on salt. Salt wasn't just seasoning in ancient Rome, it was strategic power. The Romans built entire infrastructure networks, including the famous Via Salaria, the Salt Road. It wasn't just a trade route, it was the key trade and military route. To ensure a steady supply, when local tribes tried to block access to salt, Rome responded with legions wiping out civilizations to protect the flow. Salt was so valuable that Roman soldiers were sometimes paid in salt or salt allowances, which is where we get the modern word salary. For Rome, salt wasn't just survival, it was empire policy. Then the War of Chioggia, 1378 to 1381. The brutal naval conflict between two powerful maritime republics. Venice and Genoa spent centuries slaughtering each other over Mediterranean salt routes because whoever controlled the white gold controlled European commerce. In Ethiopia, salt bars were actual currency. Venice ultimately won, preserving its dominance over the salt trade and maritime commerce. In 14th century France, the brutal salt tax called the gabelle was a harsh and unequal salt tax imposed in France. Violators were jailed or executed. This tax was so unjust that resentment over the gabelle became one of the many sparks that ignited the French Revolution in 1789. The gabelle was officially abolished during the Revolution but reinstated later, only being permanently abolished in 1945, then in 18th century. Under British colonial rule, the British imposed a monopoly on salt in India. Indians were banned from producing or collecting their own salt and were forced to buy heavily taxed British salt or face starvation. The Kingdom of Mysore resisted British control, including oversalt, leading to the Anglo-Mysore Wars. Then Gandhi flipped the script in 1930 by walking 240 miles to make illegal salt by the sea. No violence, no armies, just one man breaking salt laws. This simple act shattered British control over India and inspired independence movements worldwide.